Hey, what's up guys? Joker here, and I hope you're all doing well. As always, today we have got a few news stories to get through in the world of tech and PC gaming. First up, we're going to be giving NVIDIA a good old vibe check after the release of the 1660 Super. Reviews came out for it yesterday. I was sadly not sampled. I'm not that sad about it. I'll get into that all in just a moment. Also, in today's news, we've got Borderlands 3, which was cracked just yesterday after just 46 days. And last up, EA is officially now coming back to Steam. But first, today's video is brought to you by LevelKey.com, where you can save money on games for all of your favorite platforms, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro for under $16, Microsoft Office 2016 for $33, and Microsoft Office 2019 Professional Plus for under $70. And if you use my code PDS22 at checkout, you can save yourself 22% off of your Windows 10 Pro key, or you can get 3% off of the entire website with the code PDS3, or 16% off with PDS16 for any software over there, so be sure to check out the links down in the description below. So first up, let's talk about that 1660 Super, pretty much the most pointless graphics card release in the history of GPUs. I have no idea why this confusing graphics card has any reason to exist whatsoever. Now, as I said at the start, I was not sampled a 1660 Super, and honestly, I'm really glad that I wasn't, because it seems like a complete waste of time, and I'm glad I didn't have to spend over a dozen hours sitting there benchmarking multiple graphics cards to compare this thing against in a slew of games, only to roll out a video which basically says it's a 1660 Ti, which we already have, but it has faster memory than a 1660 Ti, which is more expensive than it, and it's only like 2 FPS slower. So in that sense, I guess from a performance perspective, the 1660 Super is kind of good, because it is basically a 1660 Ti, and the 1660 Ti sells for around $300, while the 1660 Super you can get for $230. However, it's just a very confusing and muddled launch. I don't know why, why they would even name it that. It's just so frustrating. Like, could you imagine not being a super well-informed consumer? You walk into your local Micro Center and your Best Buy, and you see a 1660, a 1660 Super, and a 1660 Ti all next to each other. You're going to be like, I don't know which one to get. Okay, obviously the Ti and the Super are better, but the Super kind of sounds better than the Ti. I mean, it's Super, isn't it? So maybe I'll go for that one. But it's a little bit slower than the 1660 Ti. But it's got faster memory. It's very, very confusing, and that's really my main frustration with this graphics card coming out. We'll take a look over on PC Games End. You can see they've got some performance numbers up, and it is only just a few FPS slower in most titles. In 3D Mark Time Spy, the 1660 Super is actually faster, which is likely coming down to the fact that it is using GDDR6 versus what the 1660 Ti has. But when it comes to actual game performance, something like Far Cry New Dawn, you could see it's getting 91 FPS versus the 1660 Ti got 93. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was 83 to 83, so a deadlock tie. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, 63 to 59, so actually faster on the Super card. Total War Warhammer 2, only 1 FPS slower, and Metro Exodus, 1 FPS faster. So it kind of goes back and forth, but essentially at the end of the day, we're looking at within margin of error performance differences, and you can get it for about $70 cheaper. So in that sense, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy a 1660 Ti. I would say if you are in that price point, I would say go for the 1660 Super, at least for now, because we haven't seen the 5500 lineup from AMD, which we're probably expected to see in the coming month, and that's very likely going to compete with this, and that's probably why they put this card out, is just to tell everyone, hey, we're still here, and we're going to completely saturate the market at this sub $300 price point so that you buy our products rather than picking up AMD. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on NVIDIA and the 1660 Super and why this card even needs to exist. But I guess at the end of the day, for $70 cheaper, you're virtually getting a 1660 Ti, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just very confusing to the consumer that maybe doesn't watch every single GPU news video or every single GPU review out there, that might just be trying to make a purchase decision in the store and not have all of the information available to them. Although, honestly, in today's day and age, you should be maybe doing a little bit more research before you plop down $300 on something. I know before I even spend $50 on something, I'm usually going to go ahead and read a ton of reviews before I make a purchase decision, because that's just what I like to do. I don't like wasting my money on shit. And there's so much information out there nowadays, you almost have no excuse not to be well informed. But, on the off chance someone does walk into a store, it's very confusing. Next up, let's talk about Borderlands 3. If you remember, just to quickly recap, when it came out, it was infested, you might even say, with the most ridiculous form of de novo DRM that we have seen to date, and we didn't think it was actually even going to get cracked because it constantly needed to do online checks to make sure that you were running a legitimate copy. Then it was discovered that there may even be a keylogger involved, but now after 46 days, the game has officially been cracked. This was posted up over on crackwatch.com. So the latest form of de novo DRM has been cracked here after 46 days. So F's in chat for Borderlands 3 and de novo DRM. Yeah, this is good news, because hopefully now de novo will get removed. I'm not saying it's good news so that you can go out and pirate the game. Of course, I would never support piracy in any way whatsoever. Would never do that. But I'm just saying that now that it's been cracked, maybe we'll get to see de novo DRM removed from this game, and maybe it could help out a smidge with performance. Although we've tested in the past, de novo DRM does not have a huge impact in terms of performance, but with the DRM that was used here, with needing online connections and using a keylogger, there are things more at play here necessarily than just game performance. There's also privacy concerns with something like a keylogger. So for those reasons, I would definitely love to see de novo get removed, hopefully before it's released on Steam in April of 2020. But for right now, at least, the game has been cracked. So anyone that just was waiting for that, it's officially been cracked. Last up, before we get out of here, we need to talk about EA and Origin. If you remember, I reported on Monday that there was a hint that we could be seeing EA games coming back to Steam, as they posted a short clip over on Twitter of a black and gray coffee mug, kind of in the Steam colors, emanating steam coming out of it, and everyone quickly thought that maybe they were hinting at coming back to Steam, and now that is 100% official, as they announced that yesterday, and the first game that is going to be coming out on Steam will be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. If you head over to Steam now, they've already got a pre-order page available for the game, and it is going to be $60 on there. They did also mention that people would be able to use Origin Access subscriptions through Steam, so that's interesting that they'll be able to do that as well. And, we don't have any official word yet on whether or not it's going to require the Origin launcher, but I believe that it is, as I talked about that in the video on Monday. If you missed that, go back and check it out. EA did say that they will be bringing back some of their back catalog of titles, but it's not going to be anytime soon. It's going to be at some point next year. We don't know exactly when, but some of their other titles will be coming to the Steam store as well. Things like the Sims 4, Battlefield 5, FIFA 20, a bunch of other games were mentioned in the article over on Ars Technica. So some of the back catalog of games will be coming to Steam as well. I still probably wouldn't buy the games on Steam, but that's only because I really don't care about some of the features that are offered over there, like achievements doesn't really matter to me. But for some people, it's important to have all of their games in one library, and I honestly haven't really had any issues with Origin over the years. I mean, they've got cloud saving, they have preload. I have my Origin Access subscription over there already. So I honestly don't really have a problem with using Origin, because it's not missing features like, say, the Epic Game Store, which is just abominable. Mostly just because it's missing things. I wouldn't necessarily mind using another launcher. It's the fact that the Epic launcher is missing so many key, essential, just basic features that you would want in a game launcher, and Origin has that stuff, so I don't really mind using something like that, or Uplay. I don't mind using a bunch of different launchers. I know that that's not the way everyone feels, and I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying that, for me, I personally don't mind having multiple launchers, as long as it has all of the features there that I want to use. Like, for instance, I noticed on the Rockstar launcher today, I wanted to uninstall a game on there, and I could not find an uninstall option on the Rockstar launcher itself. So I had to go into my regular file explorer and uninstall it like it was any other program, which is not a big deal, but I'm so used to, launchers having the option to right-click on something or hit a drop-down menu and being able to uninstall, and I couldn't do it on the Rockstar launcher, so that was just mildly frustrating. But stuff like that is not missing on Origin, so I don't have a big issue with using it. But for people that did want to get their EA games through Steam, you'll be able to do that now with Jedi Fallen Order, which is up for pre-order, although I would not advise anyone to pre-order that game until we see what it's like when it comes out. if there's any macro transactions, what the performance is like, and of course seeing reviews from reputable review outlets out there. So stay tuned for any content which I'll be putting out on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'll be benchmarking that game when it comes out, of course, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, though. Please let me your thoughts, opinions, comments below. As always, I look forward to reading through those and interacting with you guys. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, leave a like on it, subscribe if you're not already, and if you've been here for a while, go ahead and ring that notification bell. That way you never miss a video as soon as it goes up live here on the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Ta-ra.